So today we're going to talk about something pretty incredible. It's the story of an organization right here in East Tennessee called the Coalition for Kids. Honestly, it's a story that might just hold the key, a real blueprint for solving one of our country's biggest problems. But let's start with a really big question. What if there was just one skill that, if a child learned it, by the time they were 9, could pretty much determine everything about their future? We're talking their health, their wealth, even their freedom. Because the data is crystal clear on this. If a child can't read on level by the end of 3rd grade, it's not just a small stumble, it's a huge fall. It can mean a life that's 7 years shorter, $1 million less in earnings over a lifetime. It means they're 22 times less likely to go to college and 23 times more likely to struggle with addiction. And that last point, it's so predictive that 22 states literally protect how many prison beds they'll need 10 years from today based on these 3rd grade reading scores. It's like a life sentence before their life has even really begun. So nationally, only about a third of our kids, just 33%, are hitting that crucial benchmark. But the Coalition for Kids, get this, they're at over 90%. So, how did a small community program in Tennessee get results that completely blow the national average away? And believe it or not, the whole thing started with a very simple but really powerful choice: to build a wall or to build a playground. Picture this, there's this tiny church, maybe 40 people total, and they're getting ready to build a wall to stop kids from a nearby housing complex from vandalizing the property. But then a new pastor, Hagen, shows up and says, no, stop the wall. Instead, let's build a playground. They called a local donor, Mitch Cox, to build a playground, but he said, I'm happy to build a playground, but what the kids really need is a safe place where they can come after school and be mentored. He then provided the building, formed the organization, and hired Randy Hensley as the first and only director. From that one act, choosing connection over division, a community center called Coalition for Kids was born. From the absolute get-go, the founding director, Randy, drew a line in the sand. His words were, I will never be a babysitting service. We're going to pour the love of God into these kids. And that really set the tone. This wasn't going to be a casual drop-in thing. It was about commitment. Okay, so what is their secret sauce? What's the model that's getting these unbelievable results? It's so fundamental. He calls it Granny's House, based on his own childhood. After school, kids come to a safe place. They get a snack, they get help with their homework, they eat a hot supper, and then they get to play. That's it. Not revolutionary tech, just the basic care and consistency every child needs to succeed. And if you want to know the real impact of that model, just listen to this. A former student who went on to get a full-ride college scholarship said, it was like a home away from home. But then corrected himself and said, no, the Coalition was my home. And that's where this distinction is so important. C4K is a structured program. Kids must show up at least 3 days a week. There's order, accountability. It is absolutely not a drop-in center where you just come and go. That commitment, that structure, is a huge part of the success. But hey, any model can look good when the sun is shining, right? Well, C4K was about to get tested by fire, and that accelerated their growth. When everything shut down because of COVID, C4K was the only local nonprofit for kids that stayed open full force. They delivered over 8,000 meals in 7 weeks. When schools went remote, they turned their building into an 11-hour-a-day virtual learning hub. The community had been watching. Within 18 months, school districts started calling. They saw what C4K did under pressure, and they wanted to partner. The program exploded, going from serving 250 kids a day to over 1,000 kids in 25 schools. So you see, this is so much bigger than just one local success story. What we're looking at here is a potential blueprint for hope. And here's why it matters nationally. Remember those 90% plus results? Well, look at who they're getting them with. 84% of families in the program make less than $20,000 a year. Almost half make less than $10,000. They're proving what's possible in the communities that need it most. And don't just take my word for it. Dr. Maureen Mulroy, a national program evaluator at the U.S. Department of Education, called C4K the highest-rated program she's seen in 30 years. She said, "Right in our back door in Johnson City is a program that literally can change the world." So when you boil it down, the lesson is simple. The answer to this national crisis wasn't billion-dollar software or a secret curriculum. It was giving kids what they've always needed: consistency, safety, and God's love. And that leaves us with one final question. If the community using a model this simple, this human, can solve a national crisis, what's stopping the rest of us? The truth is, nothing is stopping us. The door is wide open. C4K is inviting you to come build with them. It's a blueprint for hope, proving that what works here can spread everywhere.